has built a reputation for driving impact through innovation, education, and global partnerships. Before founding his companies, he held leadership roles in product and partnerships at Creative Associates USA and AfriScience, where he served as a vice president for business development. His work has earned him numerous prestigious recognitions, including being named a Facebook community leader in 2020, Antler Entrepreneur, Halcyon Incubator Fellow in the US, Chevening Scholar in the UK, and Atlas Corps Fellow also in the US. He's also a Global Good Fund Fellow, Carrington Youth Fellow, and was recently selected as a 2024 Casador Entrepreneur and one of the Jackman Foundation's Business Heroes. He is a recipient of the UK Global Talent Visa for his exceptional contribution to technology and workforce development. Eyitayo holds a master's degree in business strategy and change from Edinburgh Business School and consults as an AI product manager. He is also the founder of the Velocity, an exclusive network of over 700 high-performing entrepreneurs, professionals, and operators across Africa and beyond. Please, with a virtual clap, can we celebrate and welcome Eyitayo Ogunmola, who is going to be taking the keynote session in a few minutes. Please, I'd like to see, our clap, virtual clap, please. Thank you. I can see that. Thank you. Oh, okay, we would get the link and send to you. I'd like to go to the next speaker. Yes, we're having another speaker, N.A Cobblah, all the way from Ghana. And Henry is a seasoned technology entrepreneur and digital transformation leader, passionate about Africa's economic growth through innovation. He is the founder of Relay.com, an AI-powered productivity and assistant platform, and Workspace ERP, a SaaS solution for business management and operational effectiveness. He has contributed to major initiatives such as African Skills Connect, working with policymakers and industry leaders to advance digital infrastructure across the continent. Henry is also an advocate for volunteerism and professional development, actively engaging with organizations like the PMI Ghana chapter. He is also a recognized voice in Africa's tech ecosystem. Henry has been featured on Asase Radio, Joy TV, and as a speaker at international platforms including GIGTEX, Black Tech Festival, PMI Global Event, and London Tech Week. With global experiences spanning across Ghana, Europe, the UK, and the US, Henry embodies the spirit of a digital nomad and thought leader, consistently championing AI, digital transformation, and Africans' role in the global digital economy. Please, can we also give out a virtual clap, welcome clap for our speaker, N.A Cobblah. Thank you so much, Eri, for being part of us today. Also, thank you to Eyitayo for accepting our invitation to be here today. We appreciate your presence. And our last speaker for today is no other person than Quency Otieno. I hope I pronounced the name. He is from Kenya and is an advocate for the High Court of Kenya. He is a certified secretary in Kenya, holds a master's from UON on technology law. He's a certified professional mediator, ACIARB with the Chartered Institute, and a legal officer at the Kenya Parliament, specializing in AI safety and policy and an AI governance professional. Please, can we also welcome our speaker, Quency Otieno, all the way from Kenya. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to be, having the keynote session that will be delivered by Eyitayo Ogunmola, who is going to be speaking on AI for personal growth and development. Please, can we welcome him once again as he takes the stage? Welcome, sir. We're happy to have you on the call today.
Thank you. I like the concept of taking a virtual and digital stage. It sounds very good. I'm just chilling here, having a good time, and I'm taking a virtual digital stage. Isn't that beautiful, guys?
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm also going to enjoy the days that I will be older than this. And I'll probably be getting to speak at 5 different locations at the same time. And 10 minutes to my speaking engagement, I can tell my agent AI to create my entire slide for me. Entire slide, just 10 minutes to my presentation, which is what I'm doing currently, and my agent is still working behind the scene, creating the slides, I hope it finishes before I get out of this call. It's still doing some research. Then I'm still also looking forward to the time that in the future, I can speak at 15 different events at the same time without me as a person showing up physically or virtually even, maybe having my AI representative, to just be in different locations. The world is becoming a super exciting space. I'm really enjoying it every day. I was just discussing with my team. I think it was yesterday or today. We're just talking about, many of the things I used to do as humans before. How today artificial intelligence is really, really helping, and supporting me and helping me to become 10 times more efficient. And the summary is this, right? The great talent of the future. Let me first say that, guys, if you're able to turn on your videos, that will be very helpful to help me to put a face to the people that I'm talking to. I like when I can see people. Then, oh, good, Mohammed, thank you. My energy just went from like 50% to like 70%. I like when I see people. And today I'm also going to give one person, and I don't know your backgrounds. I think we should do that in 2 minutes. Guys, go into the chat room and quickly tell me, maybe one sentence or one phrase. What do you do for a living? That will give me a bit of some insight into the people that I'm talking to. I've read a lot about, the invitation that I got, but I just want to put a face to you guys. Olariwaju, thank you. So in just one line, if you can tell me your location and what you do for a living. Now, today, I don't want to spend too much time focusing on theories, but because I also don't have time, I'm unable to really show you a few things, So I'm just going to narrow down to talking you through the way I think about the future, especially how artificial intelligence, would affect businesses, would affect innovation, would affect how we also develop our personal selves. I haven't seen any message already, guys. Where are you currently located and what do you do? Quickly, guys, quickly. It would help me to frame my conversation better. So thank you. Masamba is cybersecurity based in Canada. Now, the focus of my conversation today is really narrowed down to what will happen and how will artificial intelligence, change, affect, disrupt many of the things that would happen in the future. Many of the things that would happen in the future. And let me give you a bit of a background, and even what is happening today. Let me give you a bit of a background about me. I am an entrepreneur in the technology space. I have been in this tech space for about 13 years, right? And I think I'm still young compared to some other people that would boast and say, hey, they've been around for 25 years. So I have been around for lesser than that, right? And the focus for me is really just building people. Just building people generally and building them for the opportunities in this industry, because I sometimes feel that there's a lot of opportunities here. So I have a GRC analyst here. I have a tech lawyer here. I have someone who is in digital banking. Wow. I have someone who's a cybersecurity consultant. Wow, that is interesting. If I can get more, I have another IT auditor based in Lagos. Now I'm going to give one person at the end of this session a scholarship to come to my school to come learn any skill that you want to learn. Any. Just choose one technology skill and come to Utiva to come and learn that skill. And all our learning programs are online, so you don't have to leave Nairobi, Margaret. You don't have to leave, Canada. Now, today is the most exciting time in the history of technology. And I'll tell you why. In those days, you could do 100x with softwares. In fact, we could exaggerate and say with softwares, you could do 1000x, right? What is happening today is beyond you just doing multiples. That's not what is happening. We've crossed that border, right? We've crossed that border, right? What is happening today is redefining actually what is human made to do. What are we actually made to do? That is what the conversation has shifted to. Because there is nothing that you do today, there's nothing that, if well studied and well programmed, that artificial intelligence cannot do. It cannot do it today because nobody is investing time to really unravel that space yet. So when you think about all the work that we do, all the work that we do, is it being a pilot, right? Is it being an investor? It's like artificial intelligence has offered the world infinity. So it is unpredictable, the capacity of humans with artificial intelligence. Now, having established that, it is not fair for you, the first eras of this entire disruption in the artificial intelligence, in the tech space and in artificial intelligence, not to be one of the first beneficiaries of AI. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. So AI is not just a global concept. In every part of the world, artificial intelligence is redefining. And that is why they mentioned that global AI economy is up to $15 trillion. So by 2030, the global AI economy is going to be 15 trillion. So the biggest question is this. If the global AI industry is going to be in trillions, 15 trillion by 2030, this is 2020. Let's first start with, AI as a career accelerator. If you've got a career, right, the thing at the back of your mind should be, many of the things that I do manually, can AI automate them for me? Let me give you two different examples, right? Today, I realize that I am super busy and I'm unable to create slides in my sessions. And I still get a lot of invitation every time to come speak at programs, And now I'm asking myself, how do I deploy an agent to do three things? Number one, go into my calendar and find all the speaking opportunities and all the speaking programs that I have on my calendar. Once that's found it. Number two, send me and my EA an email saying, is this speaking engagement important to Eyitayo? These are basic things that agents can do. Agents can do all these things. When I say agents, I mean AI agents. Hey, is this speaking engagement? I found the speaking engagement on Eyitayo's calendar. Is this something that Eyitayo can do? Yes. Okay. Second is, then they respond to that email and say, do you want me to help with a presentation before that? So that I'm not just getting my invitation 10 minutes to my speaking engagement, and then I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I need a presentation or I don't. And then, the presentation would have been ready 3 days, 4 days before the speaking engagement itself. Hence, in my own career, I'm able to perform and do better. So usually the question should be, if you've got a career, what are the mundane things that you spend your time doing? So for example, the IT lawyer, probably has to always be updated on changes in compliance and regulatory requirements. Well, you want to be updated. Instead of getting emails back and forth and you having to do researches yourself, you could train an agent. The agent every day. And you could use basic things like ChatGPT. Every day, it goes and do a desk and an internet research for you, and you then guide it, or you can even direct it and say, only visit these 3 different websites, so that it doesn't hallucinate and doesn't start to give you different things from different places. So the power of the future for those that are building careers, in whatever you're building a career in, is that you're competing not against the next guy that is also in your field. Nah, that's not the guy you're competing with. You're competing, your direct competition today is now two people. Number one, what AI agents can do. That's your first competition. What AI models can do. What the new softwares and the new AI softwares can do. That's your first competition. Your second competition is the person who is then also using those AI solutions and you are not. That's your second competition. My first competition as an entrepreneur today, are AI agents. The thousands of things that I would have loved to do or that I am doing that other people don't have to do at all. And they are deploying agents to just do those things. And you don't know. You don't. I don't know. Most of us don't even know. So if you run a company, you're competing with other players in your industry who are using AI to do things faster, and you are using humans. That's your first competition. Because there is no way, no matter whatever you say, no matter how much you want to protect the human race, there's no way you can compete with someone who is using machine while you are using humans. There's no way. No matter whatever you want to tell yourself, you might want to say, oh, but there is the human side of the work that we do, but there is this, but there is this. In reality, when it comes to productivity, garbage in, garbage out, input and output, there is no way you can compete with someone that's using robots. Your direct competition is the things that robots can do, and secondly, the people that are then using those robots or using those AI agents. So what you should become is you should become the guy who uses agents, who uses AI products for many of the things that you're supposed to do. Many of the things. So every time the question on your mind, especially if you even lead a team at your work, is always to do an evaluation and say, guys, what are we doing manually? What are we spending time on? What are the repetitive tasks? We are sending out emails. We are scheduling meetings. Can we study in the next 3 months, our repetitive task so that we can focus on creativity and AI can. So today, I want to be a content creator because I realize that I have a lot of knowledge and I'm not sharing them the way I should share them. I have already set up AI agents. I've set up AI agents to help me because I know that I'm busy and there's no way I can be productive. So I go on ChatGPT whenever I have any wisdom that comes to my mind. I've told ChatGPT and I told ChatGPT, create a spreadsheet for me. And every day I give you this wisdom. Put the dates, put the time, and put the scripts. So sometimes I would just wake up and then go to ChatGPT and say, sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have to do A, B, C, E, D, and I don't even do anything. I don't type, I don't do anything. I just speak to my ChatGPT. Then ChatGPT takes that information, it refines it, it creates it into a script for me. Then that script is sent to caption, and I can do that right now when I'm talking to you. The script is sent to caption. Caption then takes that script. So someone can give me a topic now, and I can create a video without me creating the video, of me creating a video. And these are basic things that humans actually do that make humans, or that used to make humans very special. And today, AI can do larger chunk of those things. So our job is not to be repetitive. Our job is to always think, what can AI do? So let's talk about a few AI toolkit, which I have already spoken about, in my conversation. For example, 3 major things I will suggest to you is everyone on this call should have AI personal assistants. Now, AI personal assistant does not displace human assistants. It doesn't. But every single person, if you want to grow in your career, the most important luxury that you have, the biggest and the most expensive, asset that you have is your time. So you should be training right now. You should be training your personal assistant, your AI personal assistant. And it's going to take some time to perfect a training. But by this time, you guys should be, training your own personal assistant. You do it for 3 months and then the AI takes over. So everyone should have an AI personal assistant no matter what you do. no matter what you do. Because the guy that is going to beat you in your industry is not a smarter person. It's not the person that has more certificates. It's the guy who uses AI for larger chunk of the things that you are using yourself to do. The second one is that you should then be using tools like ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT a lot. There are other great ones out there. I just love ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for things like researching at a very complex level, at a super complex level of research. I use ChatGPT for writing. I use ChatGPT even for brainstorming. I use ChatGPT for due diligence. I use ChatGPT for a larger chunk of the things I would like to do manually that I know that today I don't have the luxury of time. And then you can begin to use ChatGPT. So, for example, if you're a software engineer, you can use the coding helper. For example, if you're building a career, you can use career advisors, which are AI solution. But another important thing that I feel is the most important one, right? Especially for those who are not entrepreneurs, who are career people, is using ChatGPT to develop yourself, or using any AI solution to develop yourself. So for example, every day I will get an email, and I wish I could show you at least one or two of this. Every day I will get an email in the morning. It lands in my email 5:30 to 6 in the morning on the podcast that I should listen to. So ChatGPT goes into YouTube, right? And then checks YouTube. And I tell ChatGPT, imagine you are Eyitayo Ogunmola, you're an entrepreneur, you're building in this space. Find me daily YouTube podcasts that does A, B, C, D, E, right? This is what I want to achieve at the end of the month. I want to be so good at this and this and this. That's what I did this beginning of this month. I said, I want to be so good at raising money, so good at raising money. So in the morning, I want to spend 30 minutes listening to a podcast that will train me on how to raise money. Start as though I'm a novice and then build me until the level that I'm so good to train other people. It's 9 days. If I tell you what I have learned in 9 days, I get the email in the beginning and in the morning, so I don't have to go look for one YouTube or anything. I just get the email and then I open it, I listen, and I'm developing my capacity. And what I then realize is that it's building it up, it's making it complex gradually. So you can do this thing for yourself in your own career. These are personal things that you can do to continue to improve yourself. And this is what will change the game. How are you leveraging AI solutions for many of the things that you are supposed to do naturally? So when it comes to upskilling, building your own personal AI stack, ChatGPT would help me to do many of those things, right? Another thing I use AI to do a lot is to proofread and interrogate. I'm not talking about one page document. Sometimes the auditor sends me a 40-page audit report. And I know that I don't have all the time, So I spend time with my AI solution and then I upload it there and then I say, let's pick it one page at the other. Interpret this and in 5 lines, explain this to me. Explain this to me in 5 lines. Now, the reality is that, of course, AI can make silly mistakes. That is why when I recommend to people, I say don't overload it with a lot of things at the same time. Just let it go one step at another step so that you can see. So for research, I use ChatGPT. For design, I use AI Canva, Canva AI, or I use things like Midjourney. For coding, which I'm not a software developer, but I can understand whatever my engineers are doing, because of AI. So I use tools like simple basic Copilot of Microsoft, So for my own career, for my own personal career, I use ChatGPT. And it's been so productive, helping me to do research, helping me to identify what I should study and delivering it to me the way I want it so that I'm not overloaded, So again, guys, because I don't want to run too much ahead of the time, one of the things you need to have at the back of our minds is this. You as an individual, you are super talented. You're gifted. You're great. You're good. Yeah, agreed. The people you're competing with in that same industry that you are, they are as good as you are. They are as talented and as smart as you are. The difference is this. Who is going to master the use of AI? Just think about it. I'm leaving you with this. Think about it. In those days, when everybody was solving mathematical equation with their head, somebody came and started talking about calculators. Like, guys, if you're going to be so good at this math, you can't do everything on your head. You have to use math calculators. And some people said, you know what? I think I'm good with my head. Well, some other people feel, I'm lazy. Let me go use calculator. And there's another person who is actually not lazy, who is smart, and who is also using calculator. Right? You cannot compete when it comes to mathematics, no matter how much you are good. You cannot compete with a guy who's using scientific calculator. Even if you are a professor, the dumbest person that knows how to use that calculator will beat a professor of mathematics. That's the truth. That's the truth. Maybe the professor of mathematics will do better than that person when it comes to explaining. But the question is, how many times does life give you the opportunity to explain yourself? How many times? Life to me looks like, if they ask us to come and do a presentation tomorrow, if a guy rehearses and trains with AI, and I don't, chances that that guy would have seen the top 30 questions that investors might ask him, and I wouldn't. So the lady who uses AI in the journey is better than someone who is self-relying on his personal intelligence. And that also applies to businesses. If you immerse your business, I don't know how many of us are entrepreneurs on this call. If you immerse your business aggressively in artificial intelligence, you will go faster than what others do. Because larger chunk of the things you're trying to do as humans can actually be done with AI. Larger chunk, can be done with AI. So the call to action that I will give to you is this. Number one, while AI is becoming the big headline everywhere you turn to, artificial intelligence here, what you should have at the back of your mind is continuously thinking about your business, about your career, about the work that you do, thinking deeply. Are there things that are repetitive? Are there things that I should do? Are there things, that I can improve with artificial intelligence? Are there repetitive tasks that I'm involved in that I can continue to, use AI to do while I just become the human in the loop? And then hopefully, everyone, will thrive and do better in their career, by leveraging this new opportunity that is out there, artificial intelligence. Right. This is where I'm just going to stop and hand over back to the host. I don't know if I'm supposed to ask questions, if you are supposed to ask questions, but again, if you want to, connect with me, at the end of this session, I think I'm everywhere on LinkedIn, and I'm also in Instagram. We can connect, and I'll be happy to continue to build this relationship. Hopefully there's a lot bigger things that we can do. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Eyitayo. That was a very wonderful presentation. I think for me, one of the things I could take from this session is I can have my own personal assistant without, paying a human figure to do that for me, right? And I'll get more value from AI. So you don't have to be in a leadership position before you can have your own personal assistants to help you with, rudimental tasks that the AI can help you achieve. Please, you can jot down your questions. There is a session for Q&A, and also we're going to be having a round, like a panel session where we have questions. We'll ask all our presenters questions. So please note down your questions. Mr. Eyitayo is still with us till that time. Okay, we'll quickly go to the next session, and our next speaker is N.A Cobblah, all the way from Ghana, and he's going to be speaking to us today on AI for business growth. I would like, please let us, give a virtual clap for N.A Cobblah as he takes the stage for his presentation. Welcome, N.A. N.A, can you hear us? Are you on the call? Okay, so I think when we had that glitch, we had to lock the Zoom meeting, and so a lot of people could not come in. So let me check. But okay, let me see the next speaker is on the call while I reach out to Eri. Quency, are you on the call? Quency, I can check. Oh, okay, I can see him on the call. Quency, are you on the call? I just want to confirm you're on the call so that I can bring you up while we wait for Eri. Okay, I can see the thumbs up. Okay, so I would like to switch the speakers right now. So we'll be inviting the next speaker, Quency Otieno. As introduced earlier, is from Kenya and he's an advocate of Kenya Parliament. And he's going to be speaking to us today on AI for product development and innovation. AI for product development and innovation. So if you're a product developer here or an innovator, Quency is going to be, talking to us how we can leverage, AI for product development and innovation. So please, with a virtual clap, can we welcome Quency Otieno to take his session. Please note that you can jot down your questions, and during the Q&A sessions, we would, take them. Thank you. Quency, you have the floor. Okay. Please, can we make him co-host so that he's able to... unmute him, please. Him. Can you unmute? Take that box. Okay, Quency, can you confirm you can hear me because you seem muted? You might need to unmute your mic to speak.
I have been trying for a while. Can you confirm that you can hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear
If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Hello? If you can see me, give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me, also give me a thumbs up to help. So thank you very much. Allow me to have my camera off because there's a lot of network interruption here. So my name is Quency Otieno. I'm essentially I'm a tech lawyer in specializing, but I do work for the Kenyan legislature over here. Now, additionally, I am doing my doctorate in AI and biometric systems, particularly focusing on the legal frameworks surrounding this. So for today, my focus is going to be on AI and product development. Give me like 5 to 10 minutes, and I hope to kind of enlighten you a bit on what I've seen and how it can help you. So for starters, I have a friend called Nyandia Gashago. You can check her out on LinkedIn. She is a huge advocate for AI and AI being used in businesses. And the one motto she insists, like she always necessitates, is always use it as a tool. Make sure it features and boosts your output. At no one point will someone vilify you for using AI. It's a tool, all in all. Now, within product development and innovation, the biggest potential that ought to be there is can I realize monetary gain in the long run? And additionally, can I have a shorter turnaround time when it comes to utilization of AI? So if we piggyback off of two industries, primarily the pharmaceuticals and the tech industry, let's label the tech industry as consumer industry. The rate and the level of innovation is doubling, and it's tremendous. We have products and we have services that now, with the full integration of AI, have realized a lot of financial gain and a lot of happy customers. It comes with a lot of benefits, challenges, but there are strategies to this, how you can implement, how you can strategize. So ordinarily, there are usually stages to like product development. But if you factor in the utilization of AI, it is usually narrowed down to about, let me give a let me just say 4 areas which you can focus on with AI, particularly when it comes to product development. The first one is ideation and strategy. So you're a young business, you're coming into the market, you have no mentor, you have no mental map of what service you want to offer. However, you have an idea. The first step is you have an idea. So how do you further develop this? A while back, pre-2020, before ChatGPT became an actual thing, you had to go and become an apprentice to learn business. You had to go learn things the old way. And it had one of the slowest turnaround time, because it would take you at least 3 years to learn. And then after 3 years, it would take you another 3 years to implement. This can now be summarized in less than a week or less than a day. We have so many LLMs out here, and I believe Grok is increasingly becoming one of the most popular ones from Elon and XAI. And you do realize you can go from having an idea to developing a brand image to churning out the idea to having systems to having a strategy in less than 1 prompt. And it is something which is tremendous. One of the headaches that I get to observe on a daily basis is, as the regulator or as the legislative arm of the government, there is always a connotation to have this idea that you need to overregulate, which is not really something you'd want in an innovative phase. So if you look at agents, AI agents, large language models, each and every time the legislator has prompted to develop rules or regulations, it always falls short of within its objects. And this is just primarily as to how fast-paced like tech is. So after ideation and strategy, you can design and prototype. So if you've observed, Google has Nano Banana, which just came out a couple of days ago. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it, because as a lawyer, it makes me try on new suits without necessarily having to buy the new suits. And it makes me see how many variations I can get into. And if you think about it, you can design and render any prototype, whether you're using a 3D layout, whether you're using protein folding for cancer treatment and cancer, like developing cancer drugs. And it just transforms mental maps into now reality. And if you can pair an AI large language model, such as Nano Banana, and a 3D printer and give it 3D schematics, you can imagine as a business how fast can you get a prototype working. Because don't forget, when you're pitching, you have to have something to show for it, especially if you're pitching a physical product, not just a digital product. So there was this idea which I remember reading about on Siemens Digital Industries, where it had a form of digital twins where it took Figma AI and Sperma AI and transformed sketches of an artist into digital twins, which now it was dubbed Siemens Digital Industries. So it did simulate, or the crux of it was they wanted to find out if it's possible to transform art into particular 3D scans, which can be used to then form a form of artificial organ development, which can be used to replace the actual hard, like human-grown organs, which normally are shared between hospitals, amongst other things. So it predicted outcomes, and it had a high AI surrogate success rate. Look up China. There's someone who recently got cured of diabetes. Mellitus diabetes 2, or mellitus as we know it. And it was down to the AI actually figuring out the genomic sequence of this. And it rendered so many simulations of it. And you'd be surprised at how this is the first of many cases when it comes to the health industries. Like, there's so much room for innovation and the utilization of AI. Now, the third one was evaluation and testing. Ordinarily, this would need labs, this would need personnel, this would need a lot of physical infrastructure requirements, which would just lead down to money. But happily enough, I've seen enough labs running tests, simulations, and experiments using AI without necessarily increasing the risk of evaluating and testing this, without necessarily utilizing a lot of resources. And you can see, like, in terms of the cost of benefits, the cost benefit analysis, and churning back resources to their rightful areas, you find that there is a lot when it comes to the potential that this could happen, especially in terms of just reducing costs. I think about running tests for drugs which are being used to cure common diseases, such as the malaria medication. Now we have a malaria vaccine within Africa in itself. And if you talk to one of the scientists from AstraZeneca, which I had the privilege of talking to, they did tell that they ran so many testing and evaluation just using AI agents and using AI. And from the time that they started rolling out the test phase of the malaria vaccine and what is actually being rolled out within that with WHO, you'd be surprised at the efficiency of you being vaccinated against malaria from an early age. The odds increased from around 70% to around 93%, which was damn impressive according to me. Lastly, we have refinement and product launch. So it will streamline operation, automating documentation, code generation. Remember, we have Copilot, we have Vessel, we have GitHub, and then you have a go-to market strategies. A huge chunk of refinement happens over time. But if you already have validated and tested from multiple prototyping and multiple ideations, the data collected can be used actually to improve a product to its final form before you can actually roll it out. So instead of planned obsolescence, you can have a form of planned refinement, where you have a form of agile way of interceding before product actually fails. And I believe the industry that is greatly going to benefit for this is going to be the automotive industry, because you can, instead of releasing an annual release of upgrades to vehicles, you can have one vehicle model such as Tesla, and it can stand the test of time and be consistent for like 2-3 years before you actually produce the next one. So ordinarily, there are going to be trends within AI technologies, especially within the innovative space. So to summarize, there's going to be generative AI for design and innovation. So we're going to have quite a lot of R&D, which is going to be done, about 20 to 80%, particularly if I focus on the manufacturing sector. They are going to use a lot of generative AI in terms of design. If you watch the last SpaceX launch that happened, the calibration of the landing systems for the rocket, primarily Super Heavy, was done using the AI, which Elon Musk is greatly advocating for. We have AI agents and workforce augmentation. So you'll have a scenario where AI agents will have quite vast of information, and in terms of worker morale or worker productivity, it can troubleshoot and iterate independently without necessarily having too many varied roles, especially in products team. So I look at this in the automotive industry, and I believe there's a report by PwC, I think in 2024, either July or March, where they did predict that the automotive industry development life cycle is going to reduce by 50%. And if you look at it right now, all cars that are coming out this year, courtesy of the German engine manufacturers, kind of have a sort of futuristic ideation when it comes to how they look. Kind of check of it. If you can use Nano Banana to give you iterations of maybe the new Audis or the new Mercedes that have rolled out. I believe yesterday we had a Mercedes GLC which was rolled out, and it looks more futuristic, which tends to look more like a rendered, an AI rendered image rather than like a real Photoshop, which is what use of AI. Then we have the whole idea of sustainability and sustained integration. So you can imagine compliance is such a tedious task. I do legal compliance on my end. Now you can imagine it comes to now automating simple compliance tasks, such as I know the whole topic about carbon credits is a whole conversation. So you can imagine using an AI to develop a compliance checklist, a compliance format for for emissions and crucial energy. Now, benefits, it's going to be fast. It's going to save a lot of money. You're going to have enhanced information quality, scalability, and data-driven insights. Remember, we are more of a communal-based continent, and having data and communal-based values is a win-win for us. There are a lot of challenges. So technical limits, the capacity to train, data and infrastructure issues, don't forget talent and cultural stances, compliance and ethics. Take a look at my LinkedIn. There's an article called the Four Horseman Network or the Four Horseman Theory, which ordinarily you'll find these challenges and strategies really well established by Carla Labs. And I was doing an opinion piece for them later on, and we found that indeed it does help. So what does it mean for innovation? You don't have to have all the resources world over for you to succeed. You don't need to go through loops and holes for you to get ideas and for you to start rolling out. The features for the young, the features for those who are bold. Use AI because we're living in such an unprecedented, beautiful time. Who would have thought 20 years ago that we'd be sitting in a room where you can form a company in your house, get grants, get tenders, and actually churn out products from the end? It's a tool. Don't forget it's a tool. And as the first speaker said, let's use it to our advantage. Like it's good that we have it, and better take the best of it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Quency. Thank you very much for your presentation. You don't have to have all the resources before you start leveraging AI for innovation. Okay, so please just note down your questions for Quency. We will be taking it after during the Q&A session. We quickly want to take the final presentation by N.A Cobblah, who is going to be speaking on AI for business growth. So if you're an entrepreneur here, or you are in a strategy section in your organization, I encourage that we also pay attention during this session. Please join me to welcome N.A Cobblah as it takes the stage. Mr. N.A Cobblah, can you hear me? Yeah, I can see you on the call. Please kindly unmute and speak. Okay, admin, please kindly unmute. Eri is unable to unmute.
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay. Please, you might need to speak louder. Your voice is sort of low.
Is that okay?
Still low. You can increase it, the volume.
Okay. I want to be sure that if it's fine now.
It's fine. Okay? Yes, it's okay. But I don't know if you can increase the volume of your mic to make it more audible.
Okay.
Can we hear you very clearly? Let me confirm. Maybe it's not just from my own end. I don't know if it's just me. Can
My
we
mic.
hear
Very,
the speaker clearly?
Yes, I can hear him.
Oh, we can hear you very clearly. Okay, that's fine. So you can go on.
okay. All right. Thank you very much for having me here. Forgive me, I just have a little bit of emergency, and so I might not be able to share the slides I prepared for you, but I would be able to share that just in the course of the day so that you would practically be able to go through what I prepared for you. Now, I would make it a bit more practical so that at least we can sort of relate to what I would be speaking on. So my name is N.A Cobblah. I run iSolveAfrica. iSolveAfrica is a 360 tech company. Generally, we've been into high level of DevOps. We've had to work on AI projects, big data projects, e-commerce projects, and all of that. And in the last couple of 3 years, I've had to take unique approach to particularly AI, not because it's a new trend, but it's also because there's quite a number of things that it needs to get in, especially when there's a new trend. I'm taking interest in blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, and now I'm taking more interest in AI as well. And so I might be speaking on a few things which I've practically had to have connection to and be able to share that with you. So I would be, talking more on the practical use of AI for businesses, innovations, and then personal growth, and then how we can take that from there. Okay, so in the last couple of 3 years, I've had to do a lot of traveling. Myself, I'd had to be amazed at how far I had to go. I've had to be in close to almost about 12 different conferences all over in the UK, in Germany, in France, in the US as well. And all of these are conferences that sort of have high level. I can tell you that almost every conference I've had to attend in the last couple of 2 or 3 years has really been about 80% AI. And that amazes me because if you're going to a project management institute conference and you're expecting to be talking more about project management and all of that, and then you get up and then in that conference you having everybody display projects tools that is infused with high level AI and LM models, it gets to be really confusing because you really don't know whether you're getting to have human beings getting into AI or you're just having AI front most of the things, because in most of the applications I've had direct interactions with in these conferences, I can tell you for a fact that they're really going to have to cut almost about 30%, 40% of sort of the workforce away. And again, that comes to also say that now, how does that particularly infuse with us when we have to now put AI in the middle of our businesses or innovations and even our personal growth for it? I give you an example of somebody that I came to my house and was working. He's a plumber, and he saw me speaking about someone to someone on AI. And after the call, he asked me that I heard that AI is sort of going to take over the world. And I said, well, it probably can. And it says that can it diffuse or choke the pipes as well? We had a very good laugh about it. But it's one of the things that I also consider very important because, again, whilst looking at AI in its perspective practically, you're also now going to not take away the human factor away from it. And so to start off, I'm going to say that number one, I feel that we are actually at the very open hook now in the AI African context. You wouldn't have any company in Africa running an LLM, and so we are actually in a very open place where we can only now look at how we're going to leapfrog in the presentations of AI to us, because almost every LLM that everybody is sort of using, everybody's connecting to, all these AI agents that are being built on just a very few LLMs, which are not controlled by any African infrastructure. And so we can only just be at the position where we can only leapfrog and take advantage of it. In the beginning of the year, there was an AI conference in Paris, and in that AI conference, the US and the UK refused to sign the part where they're going to look at privacy, security, and all of that. And they felt that AI should just be open. We should just explore and see how better off it could go as wild as it could. And in that context, I am very sure that anybody from our African region should be scared. Again, in terms of innovation, in terms of for business and even personal data, because we seem to be throwing in a lot of content into these AI models, which is sort of even adding up to its training. And so we're in a very open hook where we can only leapfrog and try and take advantage of what is presented to us. The second thing is that we're looking at businesses and applications being relevant to African markets. I've seen quite a lot of applications being thrown out there, everybody claiming that they have some level of AI, one in and out of it. And it amuses me because, again, what is AI in itself to most of these business applications that we throw out there? Is it that it is going to just enhance how we're doing things? Is it that we're just taking advantage of generative, or we're actually looking at building agents that are going to speak to the African market? And so if I'm going to be able to pick up, let's say, an AI-powered crop monitoring and weather prediction system, is it just that it's going to sit on some weather systems or data that has been provided to it from elsewhere, and then it will sort of do some level of predictions for you? Or it is going to be very relevant to how the crops in Africa and the weather in Africa is going to is relevant to each other and could be helpful in points of crop growth and all of those things. And so for me, it's more about how businesses are going to now start looking at AI in itself and taking advantage of it clearly to fit the African market, and not necessarily just tagging any other things which comes into play as AI. I just had somebody ask me that if we could work on a website for a government agency, and had sent me the scope of work. In the scope of work, you could look at it as, even the title of the scope of work had mentioned that we're looking at a website. They had tagged it as they wanted to build it on a normal CRM. So that means that you're going to either build it on WordPress or Joomla or Drupal, but then they're asking that you have to infuse it with AI. And then I'm looking at the context of the scope, and I'm realizing that there's nothing AI that's supposed to be relevant here, except that you're going to only have to put in a point where you can just only click to refine text which you've placed on the website. And I'm wondering, is that really how we want to take advantage of the AI in the business settings? I mean, it baffles me sometimes with that, but from the relevance, I can only say that, look, I mean, there's a lot of advantage when we have to look at AI in a proper context. Can we build agents that are relevant to our businesses? Can the banks start looking at proper AI agents that can be doing financial modeling, can be doing financial advice based on your spending rates? So in the mobile applications, I can be able to see that I'm spending so much on transfers to family and friends rather than doing investment. And so the application, based on the AI models that can be there, can be able to speak to me about financial advices, and could even split out to tell me that based on how much I have in the bank, I could be making 20% in terms of investment, or 10% in terms of investment if I'm investing in this instrument or not. And so it comes in terms of the relevance that it would have to be for an African market. Now, the next one would be the innovation opportunities that would cut across different sectors. Okay, I remember that in 2015, I did a project which was supposed to be an anonymous platform that we were showing to the youth to handle sexual and reproductive health. Now, we had to do a lot of marketing and activations to be able to get people to even trust the platform, only because, again, first it was anonymous, but again, it was also very manual, because it took a lot of time for a lot of volunteers who were medical students to be able to engage with some of these people who get onto the platform and be able to put in put in the request or would ask questions and all of that. And so there was a bit of time drag and all of that. Now, in this time, and this was in 2015, now 10 years away from that, we're having AI, which comes in terms of public health, being able to provide telemedicine solutions to, I mean, people could be doing a lot of diagnostics to it. Where you could even put in your test results and it could even analyze the test results and give you solutions and all of that. I'm looking at it as from the healthcare perspective, this is a massive innovation opportunity that would be able to be honest. And so if we out here are able to take advantage of it, we could be able to have a lot more to do in these sectors with in terms of innovation. And so whilst we are thinking of ideas, we're looking at being very innovative, we're also looking at how these innovations are going to be powered and be pushed directly to enhance how we basically have in our living standards. And so it would have been interesting even today if we have to pick up that model again, now infuse it with AI such that anybody who is speaking, you're not speaking to just a bot, but you're still having human guidance, but you still can be able to have your relevant questions or solutions to be paired up to a particular hospital. If you are experiencing, let's say, a particular STD, you could be pushed to a particular hospital where by the time you get into the hospital, you're having your data sort of there in most of these hospital management systems there and all of that. I mean, it's going to really be interesting to see how we're going to have to take advantage of this innovation here in Africa and in different sectors. I mean, in education, we're having to look at how we're going to emphasize on personal learning platforms. I've seen quite a number of learning applications being rolled out to kids in Ghana on tablets, and you'd realize that parents are just buying these tablets because they're sort of on the market. There's no real direction. It doesn't even sometimes fit our curriculum and all of that. And so how is AI going to be able to fit in to be able to give us personalized learning platforms and languages and tools as well? I want to be very engaging, so I'm going to try and put my my video on so I can speak to it. Okay, so the next one I'm going to speak about is also going to be on personal growth and empowerment. Personally, even being a tech person, I get scared sometimes. I mean, day in day out, I'm looking at applications that are able to do the kind of work I have to do in a month, being able to do them in minutes. And even as a developer and now getting into AI development, sometimes I get scared. And so I can get that people out there sometimes look at it as, okay, how can we be able to be part of this train, have a personal growth and empowerment with AI that can enhance us rather than get us to be more scared? Because when I have to run around and per the passion I would have to get around and learn, look, in London Tech Week, there were almost about 400 different companies that were presenting AI applications. Okay, and that's crazy. And these are like cut across in different sectors. And you can feel how it's really strongly coming in. Down here, we're not really looking at a lot of applications, which are some maybe share with you. But again, you're looking at how these applications are coming in strongly to take some of the work which we'll probably be able to do ourselves, even for creators. I mean, developers who are even at the forefront of being the ones pushing the AI agenda are having their own jobs being taken away from them. And so we would practically have to show how we're going to have to grab a global opportunity to go through tools, looking at language barriers, online learning platforms, which is going to help us to be able to harness some of these AI tools. I mean, AI entrepreneurship tools also to be able to scale up your businesses and all of that is very important. And so, yes, it can be very scary, but you always have to now be part of the adaptations where you have to pick up some of these tools and learn, and take personal interest in being able to discover what people are working on, and also be part of the creation process. Again, like I'd mentioned, we in Africa do not even have an LLM that's thrown out to us because it's really costly in terms of the cost of running these servers and all of that. But we can only take advantage of it. And so if we'll have to, it means that we'll have to be at the forefront of being part of the creators, and getting our hands on to be able to have a personal growth and empowerment to some of that. And again, you also have to now look at how we're going to be able to address some practical concerns which comes in. I like to use certain LLMs personally because I feel that they toe the line where I want them to toe. Because again, so far as you are sitting on any large language model, you are being part of the training process for it. And so I like to use Claude AI more because of privacy, because of ethics, because there was a time that I had to do a trial of trying to imitate an ID card, and I placed it in Claude AI and I placed it in ChatGPT. ChatGPT was able to give me the ID card with my picture because it was another person's picture. But then I had to just assign that, add my picture. I even just gave it my name. It was able to find my name, put a picture which really didn't look just like me, but I could then realize that it had actually looked up at me on the internet, or probably an image I'd already uploaded earlier, and then placed it on the ID card perfectly. Now, Claude AI specifically had told me that it was not going to be able to do that because of ethics. And I really liked that line more because I wanted to be at a path where I can feel safe in the middle of doing everything on these large language models or agents that can be thrown out there. And so there are practical concerns where whenever you're looking at how it has to be for your business or your innovations, you're going to choose platforms that are going to be very safe. They have ethics in place. I can imagine if they are the legal team that is in Ghana, and they're just throwing a lot of context and cases which are very sensitive into large language models, and are asking it to be able to draft, to be able to draft contracts and all of that for it. I can imagine the kind of data that they sort of throwing in there, and how these AI tools are basically keeping and learning from all of these relevant content that is being able to throw to it as well. And so these are some of the concerns that you practically have to start looking at, especially when you're looking at coming into the practicality of AI, in the point where you're having cultural sensitivity, the security, the privacy, the local talent development that comes into it as well, and then being able to create jobs around it. So I'll share some few content with you, which I've seen, which are practical content in the part of African context, and then we can take it. So you guys can check on iCow. It's a startup from Kenya that I'd been looking at, where they've been practically using chatbots to be able to send SMS tips for livestock care, and then being able to breed schedules and market prices for some of these farmers. I am not a true fan of just SMS being thrown to farmers. I feel that we could be doing a little bit more, especially when it gets down to agri food. But in the context where Africa does not have stable internet, I think that it's a start. And I like the way that they've sort of implemented a chatbot, which is able to now engage with some of these farmers. But again, they could also do a little bit more with that. Again, you can also look at platforms which are traditional. So one of the platforms I would recommend for you to check it out is Jumo AI. Now, Jumo AI does a little bit more on mobile money transaction analysis, and it offers personal financial advice to businesses in Africa. And so it's one of the applications that you probably want to check as well. Now, Flutterwave I think that in the last couple of time had introduced an AI detection, a fraud detection on its platforms, again because of the numerous fraud that has been coming through towards us. And so Flutterwave really has one of the nicest AI fraud detection points where it helps processing of payments within Africa very well. You might not necessarily feel or go to a part of the application to see how the AI detection does. But in terms of when you're sending money, it basically gives you prompt as to when it's not too sure of the sender, or if the sender sort of has been reported a bit of time, or the account number is flagged off and all of that. It's able to now give you indications of that as well. And that's really one of the practical ways I'd like to see AI being pushed in the African context. Now, Zipline again also uses drone-powered delivery in Africa. I'm friends with one of the guys who is on that board, and he basically had been giving me some level of ideas into how they're reducing the delivery time from hours to minutes, even on the way they are plotting their delivery, the delivery with the drones and all of that. I mean, smart delivery coming into play. And so I think that that's really powerful again, because Zipline has been providing blood and essential drugs to people in the hinterlands. And if AI is being able to power how the drones are able to deliver quicker, I think that it's a way to go. So that's in the terms of healthcare. I'm just giving you in different parts as well. So you can look at Moringa as well when we're looking at education, and then education. You can look at Moringa School in Kenya, which is able to use AI-powered coding bootcamps to train developers as well, which is essential, and able to now place almost about 85% of people in tech roles. It's a very good one, and that can be cut across to different sectors in terms of law, in terms of business school. How are we making use of AI in business school? How are we making use of AI in examinations? We've seen examinations being a talk of town, where every time people are buying questions and all of that. How are schools being able to deal with AI in such a way that when you get to the examination room, who sits by you is not seeing the same questions, because they're sort of shuffled with AI, and based on your answers, it's able to now practically examine you rather than just have direct questions which are just placed in front of you. And so for those who are in the education sector, that's an idea where you could be looking at, where you can look at how you can use AI to be doing practical assessment of students, rather than fake static question papers that are always placed in front of people. Transportation also has its way in AI as well. You have Kobo 360 also doing a lot more, where they're optimizing track routes as well. You have Safe Buddha in Uganda, which is using AI to match motorbike riders to passengers. There's been that part where I've seen research on Uber, Bolt, and how their pricing models are being pushed on. And it's a very interesting documentary. You can probably check on it. And so I can say that if we're having homegrown solutions like in Ghana, you're having Shatawale put up a ride-hailing service. How is he able to look at empowering it with AI, where it basically understands traffic, it understands locations, it understands all of our system to be able to deploy the applications to give the best pricing to customers and still give the best to the riders as well. I mean, that's another idea, business practicality being there. And I feel that if we're having homegrown solutions infusing some of these critical AI in there, it makes it quite simple and easy, but does not really cost so much in terms of having to take people out of jobs, but rather enhances and gives the businesses some level of leverage to be able to go. So I'll share some few tools with you where you can use to you can just go in. I see a lot of tools that are that are out. I mean, even personally, we're building in-house a tool that is able to now put together almost about 4 to 5 of the LLMs. And what it's going to be able to do is that if I want to be able to use Claude AI, or I want to switch to ChatGPT 5, I can be able to choose which large language model I want. And at a very similar cost, you're able to still have access to different LLMs, but still be able to, on one dashboard, be able to generate all the kind of content. And again, we realized there was a problem with prompt management. And so we realized that a lot of people are just typing anything into chat GPTs or Claude AIs or DeepSeeks, and they're just getting just anything. And so we've had to now make sure that we are understanding prompt engineering and putting them in a UI where you only have to now click. If I want to generate a content for a website, I only have to choose that I want it to be professional, or I want it to be in a storytelling form. I want the tone to be calm. I want the tone to be very harsh. I want to be able to generate 2,000 words. I want to be able to generate 500 words. So we're putting all of those buttons there. So it makes it easy rather than cracking in a lot of prompt types in your head. You're able to just by buttons select and then be able to choose what LLM you wanted to generate, what kind of content for you, and then you are able to now do that. Again, you also have the ability to now do imaging, to do voice, to do sound, and all of that, all from one dashboard, because we can realize that there are quite a lot of tools that are popping up, and sometimes you just need to be on one platform to be able to harness all of these opportunities that is thrown out there. Again, in the advanced models which we're looking at building after this, we're looking at how it's going to be able to empower one of the ERP systems which we have for SMEs. And so if you're an SME and you are using any of the ERP systems and the models that we have, you're going to have the AI sitting in there and doing a lot of analysis for you, and also speaking to you in terms of it, if it is the HR model, it speaks to you as to who is working, who is not working, who is active, who is checking in, who is not, and all of that. And so it basically makes it very simple. If it's finances, it's looking into your finances, and it's doing that on machine and not doing it on in the cloud for you. So that's something that we're building from our end, and practically I'm sure that when we're able to do that, I'll share that with a team that's here to share with any of you through newsletters and all of that. And so we have a no-code tool or low-code tools that are available for you to be able to use. So you can use Zappa. Zappa is a very nice one, which we've always liked to use around. Airtable as well is also one of the applications. I'll share this with you after the presentations when I get to the office. Bubble as well is one of the applications that helps you to build AI powered applications without having to do any type of programming. Now, again, I'm putting these ones out there because there are quite a number of people that cannot create agent or get into the practical part of going to ChatGPT. I'm sure that a lot of people have not even realized that in ChatGPT there are agents or there are tools that you can use. It's just the prompt parts that a lot of people are using. And so Canva is also one of the great tools that you can use in terms of your marketing. It's a very nice tool that you can, I mean, if you want to avoid the issues of graphic designing and all of that, or at least want to try and have an idea which you want to create before you show it to a graphic guy who now enhances it and touches it with a human feel, that would also be great. So Zappa does better when you have to do workflows without having to do coding, and it sort of enhances your personal way of flow in terms of work as well. Now, if you're looking at you're looking at mobile first application AIs as well, you would want to now look at Google's AI platform, which is better off, and then you can also look at IBM's as well. And then you look at AWS's Amplify. It's one of the tools that we use so much in-house to build mobile applications. And then Firebase as well from Google, which helps us to do a lot of mobile AI development as well. So for those of you who would be in the finance AI sector, Tala is one of the tools that I can I can share with you, which does credit scoring for emerging markets. And so you could be looking at that for, especially in the African context as well. It could be very well for you. The tool called Fair Money is one that also does credit assessments as well, for you. Now, credit scoring is becoming one of the most important things African countries are looking at. And so some of these tools can give you a practical approach to how African finance markets could also be positioning themselves to be picking up in terms of assessment of clients and all of that. With AI tools, which are into health, there are quite a number of them. I really do not recommend ones which I do know because, again, it's privacy, data, and all of that is very important. And so it depends on you if you really want to take the risk to be putting in relevant health data in some of these AI tools, because I really can't guarantee that the privacies have been they are top notch, because you can't even know what kind of LLMs they are dealing with, and they will be feeding your sort of data to be doing a lot of these analysis. You're just at the forefront of just enjoying the translations or the diagnostics that come in. And so I might not necessarily give any tool that is here as well. But for tools that are for educational purposes, you can try Duolingo's if you're looking at languages. If you're doing Coursera, I use Coursera a lot more because it does a lot of AI-powered course recommendations for me, and sort of have me doing almost about 13 certifications in just almost about 6 months. And that's crazy because I used Coursera when I was going to do my PMI PMP certification. So I had to do PMP certification and ACP certification, all from PMI, in just about 2 months difference. Why? Because I used Coursera to basically guide my learning purposes, and the cost wasn't that high. And so you can be looking at that as well. The other ones that are also available, I might share them with you as well. Business intelligence, I'm sure that Power BI, Tableau, the Google Analytics Intelligence, the C-Sense, the most of them helps you to do analytics. I mean, Power BI, if you're doing a lot of analytics, business analytics or visualizations, you probably want to use a Tableau. I mean, they do very well in that. And I might just say that, look, in the world where analytics is becoming a trend, you probably want to just get to these tools to be able to practically enhance yourself, to be able to build yourself within the AI marketplace. And so if you probably have to pick up a membership or pick up a subscription on any of these, I think that it would be a great help to you in any times where you're looking at analytics or being able to generate the data visualizations as well for your presentations and all of that. Now, when it comes down to communications, Google Translate naturally is very good.
Mr. Eri, you need to wrap up.
Okay, sure. Are we done soon? Okay. So I use WhatsApp Business AI API a lot. I mean, one of the platforms which we built for one of our clients who is doing logistics and moving kind of huge volumes of and it's really in competition even with FedEx and DHL in Ghana. I mean, we had to do WhatsApp integration, and that's one of the things that most of the clients really liked. So instead of going on tracking and all of that, they're getting practical notifications through WhatsApp on their products, which they are moving from the US to Ghana, and that's really a very good one, which we had implemented. And so you can probably check it out as well. So, I mean, like I said, the last one I would just probably put across for you is, like I'd mentioned in it, to say an African context, you probably want to check out Deep Learning in Daba, which is a Pan-African AI conference and community, which basically is focused on, or is a community that's focused on AI within Africa and focuses on African settings as well. You can look at Data Science Africa as well. And then you can look at AI for D. It is a development program for Africans in AI as well. And then you can look at Zindi, which is an African data science competition platform as well. And then African Masters in Machine Intelligence, AMMI, which is an advanced AI education for Africans as well. Now, these gives you a bit of African context because, again, whilst we're in Africa, you would want to curtail yourself in trying to find solutions or building yourself within the African context for yourself. So, I mean, wrapping up, I would say this, that, I mean, we're at a part where we can either leapfrog and take advantage of AI for our businesses. There are quite a number of tools that any business could jump on in the business type where you are, whether Greek, whether tech, whether education. You practically can be at the part where you can pick up any of these tools and make great use of them. Trust me, pay for some of these tools. I pay for cloud, and it gives me some comfort when I have to use it. And so if you have to get into the subscriptions of them, pay for it and experience them. For innovations, I would also say that as much as you can, as better off as you can, try to be very innovative, because the ones that are innovative within the AI settings are the ones that are going to reap the benefit of this trend as well. And then position yourself to pick up some personal growth as well. Travel, get into conferences. If there are events which is AI, try and see them. Try and visit incubators or hubs that are around you to be able to experience if there are new projects within the AI settings that are being brewed, and try and be part of it. Be volunteers to some of these projects and get some knowledge. And I'm thinking that you would be at a position where you will not be left out of the trend. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Henry, for that deep presentation. A lot of people are asking that, the tools that you've mentioned, that how can they get them? So I think he mentioned that he's going to share the slides. He's unable to share the slide during the presentation because of the emergency he had. So, but he has promised to send the presentation to us, and I'm sure that the tools he mentioned are included in it, right, Henry?
Yes, the tools are all going to be in there.
Okay, so we in turn would share, once we get the presentation, we would share it with you also along with the recording. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions you would like to ask, you can raise your hand, drop it on the chat box, or unmute yourself to speak. We still have our speakers. I think we have Quency on the call. Henry is still here. I don't know if Eyitayo is still on the call. I can't see him. But if you have any questions for our speakers, for Henry or Quency, I'm sure they'll be happy to take the questions. Please kindly unmute or drop it in the chat box.
Yeah, I think there are some questions about. Oh, no, okay. I think
someone's asking, what about Microsoft Azure?
Yes, so Microsoft Azure is one of the good tools as well. Already Microsoft is connected to ChatGPT, and so I mean it does well, and you can relatively use it for your businesses as well. But I can tell you that it's actually just sitting on the front of ChatGPT, same as Microsoft Copilot as well. So if you are using the Microsoft 360, I think that you have some practical use of it from there. So yes, a very good tool that you can use. I mean, one of the things I can say, look, the tools I've shared is just, I don't even know, it's just like one out of 1,000 tools I've seen out there. There are a lot of tools. I didn't share a lot of them because the ones I have experienced and looked at speak to a particular context. I mean, they'll speak to, let's say, the European context, or they will speak to the US context. And so I look at how we can start little, but be able to harness and take advantage of the ones which we can easily have advantage. The LLMs are directly there. That's why I said that you can pay for ChatGPT if you're comfortable with it, or Cloud AI, any of it. Put in the subscription is probably like $20, $25. Just invest in that part and experience it. There are more advantages when you've subscribed and you want to get to use those ones. So yes, you can just pay for any of them, but there are quite a number of tools. What you could be doing is that every time you could be looking at comparison tools on YouTube, where you can go to YouTube and check on tools that are connected to your sector. So if you're within, let's say, the agri sector, you can go and see best agri AI tools. And then you can be able to now look at the comparisons people are doing on YouTube or on the internet, and then you can now look at which ones they are reviewing, which ones are getting better reviews, and then you can use the free versions. If you get to like them, you can, get into use more of that.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned something about the use of AI and the free tools. So how do we balance the opportunities of AI? Since there's a lot of AI out there, with concerns with data privacy, ethics and regulation.
Yeah, so I think I'd mentioned directly that when you do the reviews, you are able to get the pros and cons of any of the tools that are available. And so for me, when I had to do my review, I'd realized that no, Claude AI was better off. And again, because I was a developer, it was giving me more. And I even read the news around it. I mean, if you read the news around it, you realize that the guys who are developing Claude AI are from Open AI, which is ChatGPT. And so they had left ChatGPT. Why? Because of concerns of privacy, the concerns of ethics and all of that. And so they wanted a safe space in terms of the AI. And just knowing that gives me some level of connection to that. And so then I would rather jump on that particular one. Again, also, what are you using it for? The Claude AI is more towards people who are into development, tech, and all of that. You can have proper APIs, which you can do integrations into any of the applications. The applications which I mentioned that we are developing in-house, I can tell you that the tool that was giving us a lot more in terms of the practical use was Claude AI rather than even ChatGPT. It could break down, it could try and understand what you're asking it for before it even gives you answers. And that was something that I liked about the platform. So you practically can, most of the platforms have free versions. And so you can, when you've done your research, get into the free version part of it. And then when you've experienced it, you've liked it, why not? You can try. Claude AI is free. You can just jump on it right now and try and use it. ChatGPT is free. You can use it as well. Gemini is free. I like to use Gemini, not directly from the platform itself, because I don't like the responses it gives me, but I like it if it is integrated into the my Google applications, like my Gmail, my Google Drives, and all of that. It does better of analyzing things there rather than using Gemini directly. Again, there are also new versions that are always placed in, and so you probably want to try the new versions. Let's say ChatGPT 4 is really different from ChatGPT 5, and so if you're using ChatGPT 5 because you've paid for it, you'd realize that the experience is a bit different from ChatGPT 4, which will probably be thrown out to you for free. And so you just have to just know, number one, your sector. What do you want to use the AI tool for? If you're a curious person and you want to just be getting into it as well, you probably want to now also put in some level of investment, which is going to help you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I have a question for, I'm still coming back to you, Eri. I have a question for Quency. Quency, are you on the call? Hello, Quency, can you hear me? Yeah, I see him. Maybe he's not able to unmute. Okay, so while I'm waiting for Quency to jump on the call, one question I would like to ask is, when it comes to open source AI tools, right? Open source AI models, I know they're becoming more accessible. What are some of the practical ways, to integrate them into, minimum viable products?
Do I have to answer that? Or does it
Yes,
speak up?
no, it's for you, Eri.
Me. Oh, okay. All right. So whenever you have to build any minimum viable product, you would want to first of all understand what is the use of the AI in that tool. We were building, like I gave the example of the website, and the person who is asking is asking us to put AI. So I would sit back and understand what exactly am I, what is exactly the motive of the AI on the particular platform. Okay, if it can be done without AI, do not really integrate AI into it. Okay, so if you're building any minimal viable product and you're feeling that you want to put in an AI tool, you have to do an analysis of what the AI is going to be doing in the tool. So if you're building a mobile application for a bank, or you're building, let's say, let me use a lending platform. You're building a lending platform, and in that lending platform, you want to integrate AI. What is AI going to do? Is it going to do analysis of the person's reputation? Is it going to, and if it is that, how are you going to even connect it to external systems? Is it going to be trying to learn the usage of people, data on there, and be able to advise who to give a loan and not to give a loan? You just have to understand what you put in the AI in for. That's the very first basic point. Second, you have to look at the cost as well. Now, any API calls that you're doing, you're basically going to have to pay for that. And so if you're putting in there, are you looking at the cost? Is it going to cost you more if you have to put a particular LLM in rather than another LLM? Then you get to choose. Number three, you're looking at how safe the kind of data that you're using or channeling out of the models, especially if it's an open source, is going to be safe. Are they processing on phone, or are they processing in the cloud? If they're processing on phone, then you can be sure that you can assure your users of privacy, security, and all of that. If they're processing in the cloud, it means that you have to be very transparent to the people that you're going to have to deploy these applications for them to know where their data is going to sort of land, and if they get to even choose those options and all of that. Number three, you would want to now consider what is the long-term point for that particular AI. Is it going to have to do essentially a lot more than what you want the application itself to do or not? So the long term is also very important, because transitioning from the MVP to a real application and scaling and getting people in there can be very tricky. And when you get to that path, you would want to make sure that you've done your homework right from the beginning. The next point I would add up is regulations and policies. How do they guide how you're looking at that particular tool with the AI, all in one? And so if you're building a financial tool, let's say you're building a fintech tool, let's say cryptocurrency, blockchain, and you're doing exchanges within it, are you sure that you are going to be very safe with an open AI model or an open AI API connected to your application, which is very open and takes a lot of data and all of that? It could be snooping around into looking at what you call codes and hashtags and all of that for those cryptocurrency users. And then how is regulation even going to look at it? If you're building a fintech application, are you sure Bank of Ghana is really going to be okay having an AI in there which is able to do a lot of analysis and look at your transaction levels and all of that? Regulation comes into play. And so you have to, at the back of your mind, even if when there's no regulation, you have to be sure that that MVP you're building will go through regulation one day or the other. And so whatever you're trying to put in at the start should really have regulation and policy in mind. You can check out how it applies to other places or other locations, which regulation is in place, and how it's going to play out if we're starting to do adaptations. There are quite a number of, same with the fintech example. Now Bank of Ghana is saying enhance what do you call it, enhanced PSPs could do integrations. They're looking at everything within that setting. They're looking at cryptocurrency and all of that. There was no regulation. People have been operating within that space. But now there's regulation. A lot of people are going to find themselves wanting, because there are quite a lot of things they've not taken into place. They've not even done certifications to be sure they are guided and all of that. So using an open model can be very tricky. So you practically want to be sure what essentially you're putting or plugging into your application from the very set go, because if you do and it starts taking a lot of data and you're switching, it gets to be a lot of work. So right from the get-go, you have to understand what you're putting in, what is the relevance of that tool that you're sort of plugging in, and how it is going to play out if you're going to scale or you're going to go out of MVP models.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have any questions from the audience before we move to the next and final session for today's event? Any questions before we wrap the Q&A session up? Anyone? Okay, so we don't have any questions. Thank you very much to our speakers, Eyitayo, Henry, and Quency. Thank you for your time. We enjoyed your sessions. Thank you so much for pointing out from your wealth of experiences. And I'm sure that everyone on this call would agree with me that they've taken one or two things when it comes to, AI for personal growth, for career progression, AI for product development and innovation, and AI for business growth. So like we promised, we will share every resources that has been shared on this call. Okay, so now is the game changer and the moment that we have all been waiting for. So now that we've seen the big picture of how AI can transform business, innovation, and personal growth, it's time for me to introduce to you the exciting learning parts that we've developed at the Sandbp AI Academy. Please, I would like to implore us that while I'm speaking about the learning part, please would like to encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn, where you get to learn more about these courses, the offerings that we're going to be, pushing out to our online audience. And we don't want you being the first partaker, the first people, people don't even know the AI Academy yet out there. Is just everyone on those call that is the first, hearer, and those who have been privileged to know what we are going to be launching, tomorrow officially. Okay, so please, the link will be dropped on the chat box. Just follow us on LinkedIn so that you can get more information about our Sandbp AI academic courses and even other offerings from our certification catalog. Remember, I mentioned that Sandbp is a certification body that provides accredited training and certification on various, ISO standards. And we've trained over 10,000, individuals, professionals, organizations from, across the world, Nigeria, Ghana, Canada, UK, Singapore, Kazakhstan, like where you can think about. We've been able to train people on international standards, and we have taken it further, to bring in, some of our speakers spoke about ethics, about the use and adoption of, AI, how to, leverage some tools to be able to, ensure productivity, creativity, and automation. And so these are some of the things that we're going to bring, delivering to you from Sandbp AI Academy. So the first course, one of the first flagship courses that we have is with Qualified AI Foundation. And this is the perfect starting point for anyone. It teaches you how to use tools like ChatGPT, how to use ChatGPT to be more productive. Remember, our first speaker spoke about, how he enjoys using ChatGPT to do a lot of things. He has, be able to train it to become his AI agent and all of that. So this course is going to be training you beyond what ChatGPT can do, right? Prompt engineering, how you can give it the right prompts, the right tone adjustment, and to make it deliver what it is that you need from it, automate tasks for you and make smarter decisions. So whether you are in HR, operations, marketing, finance, or leadership, this course gives you, hands-on skills that you can apply immediately. And the course fee is $25, right? However, because you are the first partaker, of this launch event, we're going to be, offering to you at $0, right? So a link is going to be dropped on the group for the course sign up. So you could just sign up for the Qualified AI Foundation course. It's free for a limited, time. So I would encourage that you take advantage of this course. The next course I'm talking about is our qualified AI associate course, AI associates, right? This program is about building a strong conceptual, foundation in AI. So beyond ChatGPT, right? Understanding the ethics, the trustworthiness, and international standards. It's ideal for professionals, public servants, whoever wants to understand AI in a structured and responsible way. It's going to be exposing you to tools that you can use. Our speaker, that's Henry, mentioned a lot of tools that you can use. So this course also will not just, expose you to those tools, but also teach you how to use them either for creativity, for productivity, or automation. Right. Our next course is the AI specialist, right? So for those who want to go deeper into AI itself, we have the AI specialist track, right? Here you will learn how to build AI models that are trustworthy, fair, and explainable. It focuses on avoiding bias, ensuring data quality, and producing results you can stand behind. So if anybody asks you questions, especially if you're in the development sector, right, this is perfect for data scientists, engineers, and AI product teams. And it is based on the ISO standards, right? So it's based on international It's based on international standards, like you can see on the screen. We are looking at AI system lifecycle, looking at ISO 243-360 that speaks to AI trustworthiness, and ISO 52591 that speaks to data quality for AI. The next one is a qualified AI machine learning practitioner. Right, so our machine learning practitioner course takes you through the entire machine learning life cycle. So if you're in that place, you want to train an AI and all of that, beyond just development, there's also the standardization of it. There's also the compliance, the regulatory part of it, the requirement that you need to meet to ensure that it matches international, standards. So here, from preparing data to training models to development, is very practical and is designed for those, building technical AI systems and solutions. We also have the qualified AI practitioner. And this is for those managing AI projects, right? So the AI practitioner program equips you with skills in AI project planning, lifecycle management, and risk controls. It helps project managers, analysts, and solution architects to successfully, oversee AI development. And this course is also based on, these ISO standards that you can see on the screen. The next course is the qualified AI cybersecurity practitioner, right? So in today's world, we also cannot ignore AI cybersecurity, right? So our cybersecurity practitioner program trains you on how to protect AI systems from emerging threats, right? It is based on NIST and NISA frameworks, as you can see on the screen. It's also based on ISO standards, ISO 27090, and into making it a must for cybersecurity professionals and risk experts, because AI has come to say, so cybersecurity professionals have to, align to say how they can protect AI systems, that either the organizations are using. And we have the ISO for the 2001, this is the AI management system, right? A lot of people are very conversant with ISO for 2001, right? But we have gone beyond ISO 42001 to develop our artificial intelligence management lead implementer course, right? So this course is based on ISO 42001, which is the AI management systems. We also have, 38507, which speaks to governance of AI. So if you're in the compliance sector, right, or you're in the analytical sector, this is what this course is for you. We also have the ISO 23894 for AI risk management. So at the enterprise level, we offer the AI management system course. It teaches you how to design and implement AI governance frameworks using the standards, mentioned. It is perfect for compliance officers, consultants, and digital transformation leaders. Yeah. So we also on this we have the lead auditor. Okay, we have the artificial intelligence management systems lead auditor. So alongside implementation, we also have the lead auditor track. The program trains professionals to audit the AI systems, right? Ensuring compliance with governance for those who are developing AI, solutions, who are using AI, integrated into their various, work processes. It is also very important for them to align it with international standards. So if you like to audit, the adoption of these AI systems or AI solutions or the development of this AI, this course is for you. You'll be ensuring that compliance with governance standards and regulation, and it's particularly valuable for auditors. So if you're already an auditor, whether for 27001 or cybersecurity, for information security or for data protection, this course too can is applicable for you. And the next one is for entrepreneurs in the house. We also have one for you, right? So that's our qualified AI business and entrepreneurs. We also designed this course specifically for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and this program shows you how to use AI in marketing, in HR operations and customer strategy, giving you a clear roadmap to adopt AI in your business. Just like what Eyitayo mentioned in the session, as an entrepreneur, it leverages, AI tools a lot. So, excuse me. This is going to be exposing you to tools that, you can use. Okay, so the last one is the qualified AI executive. So this is our custom course, right? And this is for the leadership level. We for those in leadership, sector, C-suite, CEOs, board of directors, because they are also not to be sidelined. They are meant to be involved, in AI adoption. So this course provides them with strategic insights to lead, fund, and govern AI responsibly at the highest level. So, so these are the learning paths under our Sandbp AI Academy. Somebody excited to, take up one of these courses and begin to learn. So as you can see, the Sandbp AI Academy offers a complete pathway from foundation courses for beginners to technical specialization to business adoption and all the way to executive leadership. So whether you are on your AI journey, right, there is a program just designed for you. So like I mentioned, for everyone on this call, we are going to be offering you just be the pilot user of the course, right? So we're offering it to you at $0. So all you just need to do is to sign up for this course. For the course, the link has been dropped in the chat box. Please, have you been able to see it? Can we see it? The link for the course sign up is on the chat box. So please do not leave this call until you have signed up for the course. And you have access to a video course material, practice test, and an accredited, certificate that you can share on LinkedIn. You can use it to get a job. right? So I will encourage you to please sign up so that you can get the access in your email. Don't also forget to follow us on LinkedIn, because we're going to be launching a lot of offerings that are for limited period. And if you are not following us on LinkedIn, you might not be able to get such information. We will also send information to you via email. So please, we encourage you to fill the form, because we're going to be launching out some limited time offerings on all our AI academic courses. And also, if you're a consultant here, or you run a training institution, you are a certified trainer, you like to partner with us, we have different partner model, either as a trainer, either just enroll them, because we have some private classroom training calendar that you can leverage on if you don't have the training capabilities. And lastly, you can just resell the e-learning courses. So whatever it is, if you're interested in that, you can also send us an email at info@sandbp.net, or GPN at, I'll put it on the chat box. Please, can somebody even put on the chat box GPN@sandbp.net if you want to partner with us to either resell our courses, to train our courses, or to enroll people into our public classes. You can partner with us, and I promise you there's a lot of benefits that you would gain. So the email is, can somebody please put on the chat box GPN? Damblare, please type on the chat box GPN@sandbp.net, so that anyone that's interested in partnering with us can send us an email, GPN@sandbp.net. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure having you on this, at this event. It's our launch event. It's the first notice about our AI Academy. So thank you very well for making out time to join us for this roundtable discussion. So as we wrap up this, I want to sincerely thank our speakers again for their thoughts, provoking insight and practical perspective on how AI is reshaping business, innovation, and personal growth. And to our audience, again and again and again, because without you, this event would not have been successful. So thank you for joining us on this special day. Your presence made the launch truly remarkable. This is just the beginning for an exciting journey. And for those who have been part of our learning pathway, certification courses, I'm sure you can say that we do not provide anything short of quality. Our courses are top-notch, accredited, and something that is applicable in your day-to-day, activity at work. So like I mentioned, as part of the launch celebration, we are pleased to offer you free access to our qualified AI foundation course, so that you can see what you should expect from other courses and much more. It promises to be very, very practical and relatable. So this is just our way of, helping you take the first step in unlocking the power of AI for your personal and professional growth. Please, if you have any issues, just let us know. Do not leave the call until you have signed up for the free AI foundation course, so that when people see, you can ask, oh, how was the course? You can tell them, and they too can also, sign up for the course. So thank you very much. We invite you to stay connected with us. If you've not clicked on our LinkedIn, if you've not followed us rather on our LinkedIn page, please do that before you leave. The link is on the chat box. So kindly seize these opportunities and be part of a future where AI is not just a technology, but a tool for empowerment. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you again in our upcoming programs. Bye for now. Thank you, Samuel, for confirming. Okay, still have a lot of people on the call. You can check the chat box. We want you to sign up for free access to our AI Foundation course, and the link is on the chat box. And also follow us on LinkedIn to get more information about our courses and the limited time offerings we're going to be, offering. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be ending this meeting in the next 10 minutes. We hope you could take advantage of that. Thank you, everyone.